Roman Reigns shares three-worded message after Herculean battle at WWE SummerSlam. The best and worst of SummerSlam 2022. Roman Reigns close to hitting massive WWE milestone that's not been touched in 36 years. Real reason why Liv Morgan vs. Ronda Rousey at WWE SummerSlam was so short. WWE superstar takes a shot at Liv Morgan's controversial win at SummerSlam. Let's jump right into it. The best and worst of SummerSlam 2022. Welcome to this edition of Best and Worst of SummerSlam 2022. The show did not disappoint as it provided some intense action. The main event was also an enthralling duel as Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns clashed in a last man standing match. Michael Cole, who seemingly had one of the best nights of his career, was a lively presence as he called the action. There was a lot of good on the show, seemingly much more than the negative. So what were the ups and downs of this epic edition of SummerSlam? Keep watching to find out. Number 4. Best. The opening match of SummerSlam 2022. The opening match of SummerSlam 2022 was nothing short of incredible. Bianca, Belair and Becky Lynch delivered on the big stage yet again. And this time, the EST of WWE put her rival away to seemingly end their feud for good. The aftermath of the incredible contest was what captured the headlines. Becky Lynch turned face for the first time in nearly a year, embracing Belair and fully accepting her superiority in the ring. Following this, Bayley returned after a year, but she wasn't alone. She was accompanied by Dakota Kai and Shirai to begin a storyline against the Raw Women's Champion. Becky Lynch stood alongside Belair to ensure that her now former rival would not be attacked by the trio. This resulted in Bayley and her friends leave the ring. However, an unfortunate piece of news is that Becky Lynch may have suffered an injury to her right shoulder, and that might mean a change to the storyline. Number 3. Worst. The treatment of the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day lost to the Mysterios in a no disqualification tag team match, despite having Rhea Ripley by their side. However, it was because the original Judgment Day creator Edge returned to assist the Mysterios in defeating Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Since Edge left, the faction has seemingly gone downhill, and everybody looks bad coming out of it. Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley arguably looked like they made the wrong decision by betraying somebody who was guiding them, only to replace him and then proceed to lose most of their matches. The overall handling of the faction could have been better, and fans may not be surprised to see them broken up soon. Number 3. Best. Logan Paul delivering in a big way. Logan Paul may have already overtaken Bad Bunny as the best celebrity wrestler in WWE history. Unlike Bad Bunny, however, he has signed a WWE contract and is expected to make a few more appearances. This isn't to take away from Bad Bunny, who put on the greatest celebrity performance up until that point. However, Logan Paul has taken it to another level because he is simply that good in the ring. He is a natural and is potentially going to be huge in the world of WWE. He went up against The Miz at SummerSlam as the two men fought tooth and nail to get one over the other. Paul delivered with some high-flying moves and defeated The Miz with the latter's skull-crushing finale move. It seems to be a win-win situation for Logan Paul and the WWE. A big congratulations to him for his win against The Miz at SummerSlam 2022. Number 2. Worst. Io Shirai's name change. Io Shirai's NXT run has finally come to an end, and the former champion will now be alongside Bayley and Dakota Kai. However, the only negative is her name change. She has now gone from Io Shirai to the Io Sky. The reason behind the name change hasn't been disclosed yet, but whatever be the reason, the WWE Universe is seemingly less than pleased. WWE should have just stuck to her original name, but they likely wanted to change it for trademark purposes. Number 2. Best. Pat McAfee delivers again. Pat McAfee delivered once again on the big stage. His performance against Happy Corbin was incredible, with only the Destroyer finish being a little off. With that said, he is a natural in the ring, and his relationship with Michael Cole seems to have only added to the match. Cole, as mentioned, arguably had one of his greatest nights as a commentator in WWE. His call made the match even more memorable, and we're looking forward to what WWE has planned for Pat McAfee and Corey Graves after the former took a shot at the latter following his win at SummerSlam 2022. Number 1. Worst. The finish to the SmackDown Women's title match at SummerSlam. Liv Morgan vs. Ronda Rousey was probably the low point of SummerSlam 2022. The match itself wasn't bad, and the story being told was also captivating. There is a legitimate gap in their athletic ability, and that was the story they were playing off. Perhaps WWE wanted to keep fans happy by having Liv Morgan retain the title for longer, but the finish was underwhelming for the co-main event of a show as big as SummerSlam. The finish of the match saw Morgan taping out to an armbar while Rousey's shoulders were on the mat. The referee failed to see the champion tapping out while he counted to 3 and awarded the victory to Morgan. With that said, the right call was made to turn Rousey heel as she attacked the champion after the match. However, with the dynamics now shifting, Liv Morgan's fans may be wondering how many days she has remaining until she loses the title back to Rousey. Number 1. Best. One of the greatest main events in SummerSlam history. In what was perhaps one of the greatest main events in SummerSlam history, Roman Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to end their series. Lesnar defeated him twice in 2018, while Roman Reigns won their last 4 outings against each other. But none of their matches have been as good as this. The last man standing bout was as chaotic as one may have expected, but it arguably surpassed any expectations that were set for it. This was Lesnar's 9th SummerSlam main event overall, meaning that he has headlined the show more than any other superstar in WWE history. Roman Reigns retained after a brutal war and will face Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. Will Drew McIntyre be able to get his moment when the two men face off at Clash at the Castle? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Real reason why Liv Morgan vs. Ronda Rousey at WWE SummerSlam was so short. Liv Morgan vs. Ronda Rousey was one of the few disappointments from WWE's epic execution of SummerSlam. The match lasted a lot shorter than anybody expected, and there is now a possible explanation for it. The SmackDown Women's Championship bout was among the most anticipated on the entire card, but WWE ended it in 4 minutes and 35 seconds. Morgan pinned Rousey's shoulders down while in the armbar and tapped out as the referee counted to 3. Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer tweeted that the match was cut quite a bit because The Miz and Logan Paul's contest lasted longer than expected, going over 14 minutes. He then questioned WWE's insistence on broadcasting too many video packages between the matches. Here's what he said: "That match had a lot of time cut because Miz and Logan went long. How about we cut some video packages instead of time-off matches?" tweeted Alvarez. The end of the match wasn't it for Liv Morgan or Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam, though. The baddest woman on the planet assaulted the SmackDown Women's Champion and nearly broke the official's arm out of frustration. The SmackDown Women's Champion merely escaped with her title. Her facial expressions after the match proved that. However, that did not stop Morgan from taking a shot at Rousey after the match. She isn't the first one to go after the former UFC star's apparent lack of love for wrestling this week. She called herself the new baddest woman on the planet, referencing her opponent's nickname. Liv is also the only woman in WWE to pin Ronda twice following the SummerSlam match. So, while it may have been cut short, Liv Morgan had a great experience at SummerSlam. It will be interesting to see the direction this angle takes after Ronda Rousey's post-match attack on her. Do you think she should remain SmackDown Women's Champion throughout this feud? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. WWE superstar takes a shot at Liv Morgan's controversial win on SummerSlam. WWE superstar Shayna Baszler recently took a jibe at SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan after her controversial victory over Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam 2022. Morgan and Rousey have been feuding against each other after the former cashed in her Money in the Bank contract on the baddest woman on the planet. The ending of the match tonight saw Morgan get trapped in an armbar by Rousey while the latter's shoulders were down on the mat. Morgan tapped out at the same time the referee counted the pinfall. However, the victory was awarded to Morgan. Following the match, the baddest woman on the planet was frustrated over the outcome and attacked the official and Liv Morgan. Ronda Rousey's 4 Horsewomen group member, Shayna Baszler, then took to Twitter to express her thoughts on the action. She stated that a true winner shouldn't accept a win like that and that Rousey was the rightful champion. A true champion wouldn't accept a win like that. That Ronda Rousey is the rightful champ. Hashtag a new hashtag SummerSlam, Basler wrote. After the superstar sent out her tweet, fans expressed mixed reactions over the outcome of the match. Some agree with Basler's statement, while others pointed out that the referee's call was final. Meanwhile, some fans expressed how they wanted Basler to enter the title picture. For now, it looks like Morgan and Rousey's feud won't be ending anytime soon. However, it seems like the Queen of Spades could also make her presence felt and challenge for the SmackDown Women's Championship. It also remains to be seen whether she will ally with Ronda Rousey. What do you make of Shayna Baszler's thoughts on the Morgan vs. Rousey match? Leave your thoughts below. Roman Reigns close to hitting massive WWE milestone that's not been touched in 36 years. Roman Reigns is very close to reaching a major milestone that was last achieved by WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan 36 years ago. At SummerSlam 2022, the Tribal Chief took on arch-enemy Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match, with the undisputed WWE Universal title on the line. Reigns stood tall over a battered and bruised Lesnar. Reigns will complete 2 years as Universal Champion in about a month. The last time a WWE superstar hit 2 full consecutive years as a top champion was way back in 1986. Roman Reigns retains. Next month he could hit 2 years as WWE Universal Champion. That would make him the first top champion in WWE since Hogan to do that, noted Sean Ross Sapp on Twitter. WWE legend Hulk Hogan became WWE Champion by defeating the Iron Sheik on January 23, 1984. He had quite a lengthy reign with the belt and held it for a whopping 1474 days. Hogan finally lost the belt to Andre the Giant on February 5, 1988. Hogan surpassed 2 full years as the WWE Champion in early 1986. Before Reigns, the closest that anyone came to hitting the milestone after Hogan was Brock Lesnar. The Beast Incarnate won the Universal title from Goldberg at WrestleMania 33 on April 2, 2017. He lost the belt to Reigns at SummerSlam 2018 after holding it for 503 days. Reigns is now on his 700th day as Universal Champion. It seems highly unlikely that he will lose the belt over the next month or so. This means that Reigns is about to achieve an impressive feat that Stone Cold, The Rock, Triple H, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker failed to achieve during their time at the top. Reigns has been breaking records and hitting milestones one after the other ever since he won the Universal title at Payback 2020. Now that he's put down Lesnar at SummerSlam, one wonders if there's anyone in WWE at the moment who hesitated him to dethrone the Tribal Chief. Roman Reigns shares 3-worded message after Herculean battle at WWE SummerSlam. Roman Reigns shared a 3-worded message after retaining his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2022. Reigns and Lesnar seemingly ended their long-term rivalry at SummerSlam in a last man standing match. Despite interruptions by the Usos and Mr. Money in the Bank Theory, Reigns emerged victorious. Following his match against the Beast Incarnate, the Tribal Chief took to Instagram to share a message about his win. "Last man standing," declared Reigns. Both Reigns and Lesnar were determined to win the last man standing match at SummerSlam 2022. The Beast Incarnate got up on his feet each time the referee started the 10 count. At one point, Lesnar lifted Reigns into the tractor's loader and threw him into the ring. The Beast didn't stop there as he even tipped the ring over, captivating the WWE Universe. The head of the table will defend his title against Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle on September 3rd in Cardiff, Wales. Do you think the undisputed WWE Universal Championship will change hands at the next Premium Live event? Sound off in the comments section below.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for